answer. Again, we're the public speaking rapper with an English degree. And
Okay.
so yes, you'll ask a question, I have to respond. Now also, this is to the viewing audience as well. If you hear the question, please answer, because we've had great responses in the past of people answering the question. So feel free to answer as well.
Yes, please participate. We love participation, hearts, thumbs up. Let's see. What is your favorite quote? I just wanted to do that.
It's only appropriate.
And I like Jeopardy, so.
The one that comes to my mind instantly is actually on my signature on my Gmail email account, which is a quote by Norman Vincent Peale. And he said, empty pockets never stopped anyone, only empty hearts and minds.
That's a good one.
And to me, that was the summation and the opposition to a lot of the fears that I've had when it comes to anything I thought about putting my mind and hands to. So often I would look at, all right, maybe I don't have enough money to do X, Y, and Z. Maybe I don't have enough money to purchase someone to be my videographer for the show, or maybe a music video, or maybe I don't have the money for somebody to build a website, or, you know, man, it's just so big, where I'm gonna get all this money from to do X, Y, and Z. And that quote just reminded me of money never stopped anybody. And I even when I reflect on my own personal life, I say, okay, where did this concept or the fear of the lack of money or resources come into play when in the past it's not as though I had it anyway. You know, that helped me get to where I've gotten now and where I'll be going in the future. As somebody said to me just the other day, shout out to A-Rock, because he did say this and we was having a creative conversation, which was creativity will always overcome budget. And I thought that was just so powerful.
Yeah.
And that reminds me of the same too, in a sense. And that's the quote that sticks to me the most. And now it's just all about action. You know, what we put our hands to, what we put our minds to, is that we won't let anything, whether it's money, people, even our own personal failures, stop us from getting there, because you can always change your mind. You can always ignore or get new people. And you can always make money or find some way that you don't need it.
True. That's very true. That's a great quote. I like it.
What would yours be?
Honestly, I can't think of one right now. Honestly, I really can't.
Okay. Well, while she's thinking of one, if you have a quote that comes to your mind, please pop it on the screen. We would love to be able to read it and hear what people have to say. There's one actually on, what is it? Is that Tito? Young Tito. I like that, man. What's going on, man?
What is that?
I'm trying to read it, and it's so far. So my apologies. We're going to try to read it.
Somebody else commented, too. Or was that still Tito?
That's still Tito. But he says, get respect or die trying, because if you don't have respect, people are going to think they can take advantage of you. And if they do that, then what are you supposed to do? Respect is important.
Yes, it is. And Tito's what, 12?
Yeah.
And Tito's 12, so that's my nephew.
But you know, I understand what his sentiment is.
Yeah.
And one thing that I've learned as I've gotten older, and I've learned through trial and error, is that it doesn't matter if people respect you. You know, the right people will respect you.
Yeah, that's true.
And the people that don't respect you, there's nothing you will be able to do to change their mind. And one thing that comes to my mind exactly is there's a verse in the Bible, and it talks about how it's in John 15. Don't quote me. Lord, forgive me if I got that wrong. But John 15, he says how in their law, in the people's law, they have no reason as to why they do those things. They just don't have a reason. And so when it comes to respect, who said it, one of the best ways I heard it said was, the power of respect is to not disrespect. And so it does not matter if people don't respect you. It matters they're going to see the work and respect it, or see the work and don't respect it. I mean, mind you, they was looking at Jesus, and what he was doing was still like, you ain't doing this. Like, you ain't even real. Like, come on, man. Like, that's stupid. You know, so I would definitely say to Tito, I definitely understand what you're saying and where you're coming from. At the same time, you'll learn as you get older, as and we all have learned, is that necessarily the respect isn't needed from everybody. But, you know, I want respect for my wife.
Right.
In our relationship, in our friendship, I want respect for my friends. That does matter. But at some point in time, yo, Leaf crazy for that. So Leaf said Tito been listening to 50 Cent. So I feel you, Get Rich or Die Trying.
Yeah, it wasn't 50 Cent.
But I learned that.
What did he say? He said, "Oh, okay." Is that what he said?
He said, "Okay, I got it." And so that's the one thing I learned. But you learn it through trial and error and just going through the process. Because so often, especially for me, is that I always wanted everybody's respect. And many times when I was doing my best and doing what I needed to, especially for me and my family, I didn't get that. Heck, I just had that situation not too long ago. And that's what I would say.
Yeah, I would say the same thing, because everybody's not going to respect you, unfortunately. And you just have to learn the fact that everybody's not going to like you. So it's like the same thing. Everybody's not going to like you, and everybody's not going to respect you. You just have to keep doing what you're doing, and the right ones will respect you, and the right ones will like you. I mean, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does.